Have you guys ever wondered why suddenly there seems to only be just two classes of people? The rich and then us, the poor. Nope, not the middle class. Because guys, as the middle class continues to get wiped out, and I know this, because no matter how much our pay increases, we still can't seem to keep up with high cost of living and high interest rate. Or better yet, why the poor has completely given up and just accepted life for what it is. Guys, we're going to be taking a look at 6 reasons as to why the poor will stay poor and the middle class is becoming poor. This one is going to be a good one. Guys, stick around and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Guys, my name is Andre. And as usual, if you're stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing. And while you're at it, just go ahead and smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. Also, remember to hit that post notification bell so that you would be notified whenever I upload a new video. Well, guys, we're going to be taking a look at why the middle class is becoming poor and why the poor will stay poor. So let's kick this one off with number 1. And number 1 is lack of financial literacy. Okay, guys, let's dive right into it. So now let's take a look at the poor first. Oftentimes, people with low income have limited access to education about personal finances, budgeting, and investing. And this leads to poor financial decisions. But hold on, let's also take a look at the middle class. While they might have the basic financial literacy, they may not have the advanced knowledge needed for wealth building. Strategies like investing in the stock market, real estate, building a business, or understanding tax laws. Now, when you look at this, guys, it's simple. The poor is just trying to pay their next bill. They're not trying to grow. They're not trying to save. They're not trying to invest. They're just simply trying to pay the next credit card bill. They're simply trying to put food on their table. They're simply trying to keep a roof over their head. So this makes sense. The fact that their income is so low that they don't have real access to the education needed for growth or saving or even investing. So that is quite clear. When we take a look at the middle class, even though we have basic knowledge about investing or basic knowledge about saving or putting aside some money, we still lack the advanced knowledge needed for growing our money, growing that money that we put aside. So let's say we're putting aside $1,500 a month. We still don't know what to do with that money. And as a result of that, we're not able to multiply that money. So that's what it is for the middle class. We have some basic knowledge, but we don't have the advanced knowledge needed to invest in the stock market, real estate, or even building a business. Coming in at number 2 is limited access to capital. So let's take a look at the poor. Without access to credit or capital, low-income people often can't invest in opportunities to improve their financial situation, such as education, buying stocks, starting a business, or even purchasing a home. Well, that speaks for itself. But when we take a look at the middle class might have access to some credit, but often lack the significant capital needed for high-return investments like real estate or starting a large-scale business. Now that makes sense. In this case, this is where the poor have limited access to credit or capital. The capital needed for investing in the stock market or even real estate. Now this makes sense because their income is so low, all they're trying to do is figure out how to pay the next bill, how to survive, how to put food on their tables. So this makes sense. They lack the education needed, and they also lack the capital and credit needed for investment. So as a result, they're still on the same path. Now, in this case, when you take a look at the middle class, okay, even though they're making substantially more than the average, they're still spending substantially more than the average. So what this means is they're on the same path, just different vehicles. So because of this, they don't have the large amount of capital needed to make necessary or to make high value investment. So they'll probably just put aside some 401k money. They'll probably just put aside some savings, but nothing too large that will actually change their life or change their financial future. Coming in at number 3 is high cost of living. So let's take a look at the poor. Most of their income goes towards necessities like housing and food, leaving little to no room for savings or investing. Well, we know that. Now, for the middle class, they might also face high housing, education, lifestyle inflation cost, which can also prevent substantial savings and investing. Now, guys, this one also speaks for itself. And just like I said in the first two, the poor just want to survive. So most of their money is going towards bills, just surviving, nothing going towards investing. Very little might go towards savings. But for the middle class, now while these guys might also have more money, or while these guys make more money, they're also spending more money. So for example, they're spending on education, which is salime or student loan. They have a lot of student loans, more than the poor has, because the poor have not been educating themselves or not being spending on college education. Now, for also the middle class, they also have high house costs. Now, this one we could see every day because they're the one buying houses, not the poor. Also, they're the one buying the new cars, not the poor. So when you look at it, same direction, just a different vehicle. So let's put things into perspective. For example, a New York nurse, a registered nurse in New York, you're talking about a $90,000 income annually versus a New York school substitute teacher. You're talking about maybe $40,000 a year. You're looking at a $90,000 income and you're looking at a $40,000 income per year. Guys, if both are maxing their income in spending, it's the same thing. One is just a different level of poor. So when you look at a nurse, the nice vacation, the nice house, the backyard barbecues, the nice car that you're driving, the luxury items that you're wearing. But when you look at a substitute teacher, just want to pay the bills, just want to put some food on the table, just want to pay that next bill, that next credit card bill that's coming in, maybe have a night out or two, just doing very little with the very little that they're making. You're talking about the same thing, guys. One is just at a different level. One is just at a $90,000 level, and one is also at a $40,000 level. It's the same thing. Both poor. Coming in at number 4 is job market and wage stagnation. Now, when you take a look at the poor, they often have low income jobs or low wage jobs with little job security, limited benefits, and few opportunities for advancement. So, few opportunities for growth, basically. But when we take a look at the middle class, even with better paying jobs, wage growth may not keep up with inflation and the rising cost of living, limiting their ability to save and invest. And in this one, you could clearly see where the poor normally have lower paying jobs. And one of the number one reasons as to what's slowing them down is the fact that there no job security. So they could be working and be fired in 2-3 weeks. Also, there are very little benefits, if any. And last but not least is also the fact that they are not able to grow. There are very little growth there. Low paid jobs give very little growth. Now, when you take a look at the middle class, now, even though they might be making a lot more or substantially more, they're also faced with high expense. Because why? Because they're buying high ticket items. They're the one driving the nice cars, as I said before, and the nice house with the luxury items with a great vacation. So again, guys, both heading in the same direction, just from a different vehicle and also at a different speed. Coming in at number 5 is debt and poor financial management. And now for the poor, they may rely on short-term high interest rate loans to make ends meet, leading to a cycle of debt that is hard to break. Wow. And now for the middle class, they might have significant debt from mortgages, student loans, or credit cards, which can consume a large portion of their income and hinder them from wealth building. Now, in this case, it all comes down to your income and expense. Now, for the poor, definitely, they're going to be at the mercy of the predatory lenders. They're going to be paying some of the highest interest rate out here. And it's simple, and we all know why. But for the middle class, they are the one walking around with the highest debt. The big mortgages, the big student loan, the high car payment. the big balance on all these credit cards. So for them, also it's income and expense. They're accumulating so much debt that they could barely cover it with their income. And again, heading in the same direction, just from a different vehicle. So we finally get to number 6. And number 6 is mindset and risk taking. Now let's take a look at the poor. They might have a security mindset, only focusing on the immediate needs rather than long-term goals. They also have to avoid risk-taking because they fear losing the little that they have. Speaks for itself. Let's take a look at the middle class. The middle class often prioritize job security and may avoid taking financial risks that could lead to significant wealth, such as investing in the stock market, starting a business, or investing in real estate. So there you have it, guys. So in summary, the poor just simply want to make payments to their credit card bills. They want to make payment to the outstanding loans. They just want to keep their simple job just to keep a roof over their head and pay their bills. Guys, they just want to take care of the kids. They have given up on the thought of building wealth or even to educate themselves about building wealth. Guys, they're not taking any risk. They're not interested in long-term planning. They just want to live day to day and they're okay with it. But for the middle class, now while these guys might have nice house, nice car, they have better paying jobs, they could always grow or climb the corporate ladder. Now they are also in a similar situation because while they could do the vacation and while they buy luxury items, they're still stuck. They're still not building wealth. They're still not planning for the future self. They're still not planning or thinking of themselves at 65, 75. Guys, they're building on the security or on the availability of their pay today. So basically what they're doing is building their empire on the back of their jobs. Not very smart. Now, allow me to say, if I'm making $90,000 a year and I'm spending $89,000 a year, guys, I am no different from the guy that makes $40,000 a year yet spend $39,000 a year. Remember, we're heading in the same direction, just at different level. Remember this, guys. If we both are depending on our jobs to pay our bills, if we're both not accumulating wealth, if we both have nothing in savings, if we both can take advantage of all the opportunities out there, whether it's in the real estate market, in the stock market, or even acquiring a business, then we're both poor.
I beg your pardon?
We're both heading in the same direction, guys. And that's why I say the middle class is becoming poor and the poor will simply stay poor. Once again, we have come to the end of another great video. And as usual, if you found value in this one, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. Or better yet, if you know someone who might find value in this video, please go ahead and share, where you'll have access to the financial market, the financial news, making your first investment, and definitely my journey towards financial freedom. Guys, please be safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.